This is Rating Descending,
where we watch IMDb's Worst 250 so you don't have to.
Whoa, chill out, Michelle.
I just had so much blue V.
My name's Abigail Ward.
And I'm Michelle St. Clair.
And tonight we're watching Dragon Wars D-War. Once in 500 years, ancient mythical creatures come to Earth, wreaking havoc and destruction. This time, they must be stopped. Let's watch. You enjoying that blue V?
I'm not.
Holy shit.
I'm not an energy drink person. I can't think of the last time in my life I drank the entirety of an energy drink by myself.
And it's not a small energy drink. We specifically sought out for Michelle a 500 milliliter can of V.
Because I'm so overworked, I woke up today exhausted. I did not get to go to the gym, my usual booster in the morning now, because now I go to the gym. Sometimes I go at 7 a.m. like a psychopath.
That's so good. I'm going to go after this.
And so instead I had a giant thing of V because I'm a health nut.
A health nut.
Health nut. But I had a sugar-free one because I have to, so I'll be shitting like crazy later.
Oh, dude. Yeah, the last time I had a can of this V while we were recording a few weeks ago, I had like the watermelon flavored one or something, and the shits are explosive.
But I don't think I'd be able to make it through this recording if I wasn't pounding this back, all right?
So you seem to have perked up. I think it's done its job.
It's done its job. I would be, if it weren't for that, I would be asleep.
Yeah, fully.
We would be recording and you would hear just me going, honk shoe, honk shoe.
I just want to warn you,
me.
Don't make the mistake that I made a couple of weeks ago.
What, Abby?
I had... Chill out. Holy shit. You know, if you drunk a Red Bull, you'd have wings by now.
Yeah, I probably would have. Then I'd fly the fuck away from you.
I drank 2 Red Bulls, smaller ones, but 2 Red Bulls, and then I had also eaten some prunes.
Oh, Abby.
I fully shat my pants on the way home. I was just going for a walk around the block being like, it'll be good for me. And then I was like maybe 10 minutes from home where I just tried to squeeze out a fart and I fully shat myself.
I get the reputation of the shitting pantser, but like you shit your pants a lot.
All I'm saying is don't mix prunes and energy drinks.
I was not in risk of that.
See, I love a prune myself.
That's the worst combination I've ever heard of.
I love prunes.
Having an energy drink and then a prune. What are you, 60? Energy drink and a prune. A gamer who's fucking reached retirement.
I do have like the taste for food of like an 80-year-old woman.
Yes.
Like I like a lot of hard cheeses at the moment. I'm eating like Parmesan.
My grandma and I would nibble on Parmesan when I was younger.
It's so good. As a cheese to cut and put on a cracker, we overlook Parmesan.
We do.
It's so yummy.
Parmesan.
You look like you're bouncing off the walls. You're like that V.
I'm gonna bite my way out of this recording.
You're doing this thing that I do when I'm gacked, where like I'm like kind of like pulling my arms together and squeezing myself.
Well, to be fair, to my defense, not only have I had this much V, I also have been overworked and tired, and we've done so many recordings today.
Yes, we have.
We're towards the end of it. It's like victory is in sight, and my body is like, come on.
Yeah.
I'm getting pumped for the ending.
All right, well, what do you give this film out of a 10? Let's go straight to the end.
10 out of 10!
And we're done. See you later.
All right, we did it. Bad movies.
Oh my God, your cat is sitting on the bed next to us. Not that we're in someone's bedroom right now. We're professionals, but your cat made
My office is in my bedroom. That's fine.
Yeah, your cat is sitting on the bed next to us, and she's so fucking cute.
And just so listeners know, she's not a very cuddly cat in a way that I like, because I like just hanging out with someone. It's like parallel play. But she didn't used to sit on my bed very much, and more recently she's been doing it so much. She started to fall asleep on the bed with me. It's very, very cute.
She's been clingy today.
She has.
She's a very aloof cat most of the time, but when I came over today, she was like leading me down the hall to pat her and play with her.
Yeah. And
she's
also,
such a cutie.
Do you recognize the sheets?
I do. They look great.
Thanks.
Do you like them?
I do.
They're very nice.
They are very nice.
I only kept them for guests. Like if anyone ever like slept in my bed as a guest, I would pull them out. So they got used like twice.
I find the strap method of closing it. I mean, we'll
weird.
just cut this out. It's weird. But
Yeah, it does.
It's just not interesting.
This is fascinating. No, but she's such a sweetie. Mavis is a black and white cat for all listeners playing along at home. She's a black and white cat and she's got golden eyes and she's small, but she's somehow round, but not overweight.
Well,
she's just soft and round looking.
It's because she is deceptively large, but she has the reputation of being small, specifically because she's maybe of average size, but she has stumpy legs.
She does. She has these cute little stumpy legs, which means when she runs, she kind of bunny hops.
Yeah.
Where, like, she's kicking the back out from under her and she looks like a little rabbit.
She truts around.
Oh, she's so sweet. And she's got a big pouch.
One of my favorite she has a big primordial pouch.
She's incredibly fluffy. Like, she's not
very
short hair.
fluffy.
She's like
gorgeous.
she's medium hair, I would say.
One of my favorite things is, like, for example, one of your cats, Beatrice, always like looking up at people.
Yeah.
She wants their attention. Mavis, even when she wants your attention, she mostly kind of looks down.
I know.
She rarely meets you at eye level. She's just looking down, and I find that deeply relatable.
Do you reckon she's a bit on the spectrum?
I think every cat is,
tizzy,
to be honest.
Honestly. Although B, I reckon, is neurotypical as fuck.
No.
She's a neurotypical cat.
B is ADHD coded at the arse.
But Cassie is severely autistic.
Severely is a very funny way to put it.
To a point where she is unable to function if people are in the same room as her.
Yeah, fully.
That is my
Whereas
little baby.
Mavis has the same type of autism I do.
Yeah.
She likes being around people, but she's weird about it.
She's an odd cat. She actually is. She's got strange behaviors.
She both wants you to pat her and doesn't want you to touch her.
Yeah,
that's
fully.
me.
She's full of mixed signals and messages.
That's me.
But she's blinking at you, which is so fucking sweet. And she's got the perfect layers of splotches on her as well.
I mean, listeners who want to see, I post about her all the time on my Instagram, Michelle.Sinclair.
Yeah, please, you've got to go see Mavis because she is the sweetest girl. If you're a cat lover, she's so sweet.
She's the sweetest girl in the world. Speaking of... Did you give up after that, or were you like ejecting something?
Oh, it just felt good.
You sounded like you
deflating.
were faxing.
What is this, 1998?
Or a doctor's office now.
Have you ever sent a fax?
No, why would I have ever sent a fax?
I've sent a fax.
Why have you sent a fax?
Had to do it at Smart Salary.
Oh.
A couple of times.
I know
My
some
first
places
job.
still do it, but, I've never been in a situation where I've had a fax or
Really?
needed to fax something.
It's pretty satisfying. You're a bit like, wow, at the wonder of technology. Despite the fact that we live in an age of emails, I was like, whoa.
I think I would find it fascinating receiving a fax because then I'm like, wow, it's like magic. Sending a fax doesn't feel magic because that seems like just not printing something.
But I sent and received something. So I sent off a form and then I
That's
waited
cool.
10 minutes and a fax came through and it was signed.
Okay,
and I was like, wow.
That's very cool. I like
Yeah.
that a lot.
Yeah, it's very...
That's
it's
very fun.
Very sick. You know what wasn't very fun?
Oh, what?
Guess.
Dick War.
D-War.
Dick War.
Dragon Wars D-War.
We have to address that is maybe the worst title I've ever heard in my life. It is redundant within itself as well as gibberish.
And it's so confusing for me. I've spent so many times trying to remember what it actually...
Dragon Wars, D War. The D is implied, though not specified to be dragon as well.
I just hate that one is plural and one is singular. That's what's fucking me up.
Functionally, the title is Dragon Wars, Dragon War.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Unless somehow the D stands for something else.
But
it's exactly what it is.
Can't stand for. They don't even talk about D as a term in this. So
No.
It has to be dragon.
It's a flying D.
But they're not like the power of D,
Yeah.
as a magical thing. No.
Well, I mean, what's your overall impression of this film?
So
Like, what was your experience?
it's a wild, at times it's a wild assault on the senses. At other times it's one of the most bafflingly boring movies I've ever seen in my life. I think I spent the first 20 to 30 minutes going, oh, I'm going to be wildly entertained by this as a new favorite bad movie, and then spent the next hour being proven wrong repeatedly.
Yeah.
It just if it was an hour shorter, I would have liked it.
Oh, yeah. If I didn't have to watch it, I would have liked it.
Like it feels like it's a movie that is wildly ambitious and dreamed up by a man. It the title makes you think maybe this is some cynical, generic, studio enforced fantasy thing. But watching it is like, this is the singular sole vision of a madman who is the only person who understands the fucking movie he was trying to make.
What makes you think a man made it?
The name of the guy who made it.
What was his name?
I can't remember. I know it was Korean, and I'm pretty sure it was a guy's name. I couldn't remember that.
How do you know it was a guy's Korean name?
I don't know. I've worked with a lot of Korean people before, and helps make a
Have
Korean.
you been looking up my movie?
No, I haven't. Genuinely.
I'm gonna kill you.
Also, it's a film director. That makes it statistically a 93% chance that it's a guy. Like,
no, fully. Well, it is a guy.
Well,
you got me.
all right.
I really enjoy. I said this to you when I got here. I enjoyed this film, but I didn't have a good time. In a sense,
yeah.
You know, like I enjoyed how ridiculous it was, and it was nuts. It was chaotic. It was bizarre.
Buck wild.
It went for too long. It was somehow boring yet captivating at the same time.
It was simultaneously an hour too long and too short.
And in a sense, I think it's the craziest thing I've ever watched, but I'm not sure I'll ever watch it again.
Yeah,
it's not the kind of thing I'd want to show people because it's too odd. And also I had to rent it because I couldn't access it, and it was so difficult to hear it a lot of the time. It was the kind of thing where I had to keep turning it all the way down during the fucking half-hour sequences of like dragons roaring, just going
well, mostly
like, what the fuck?
Cobra. There's barely any dragon in it.
It's more Snake Wars, in my opinion.
This should be Dragon Wars : Snake War.
Snake War. S-War.
S-War.
Swore. But I should have had a good time with it, and somehow I feel like I will never return to it. It was too much.
Every character makes the most baffling series of choices, and also, look, one of the elephants in the room is at least seeing, because it came on the screen, I think the guy who made it is Korean. Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That vastly complicates one of the most centrally weird things of it, which is the main three characters were like, it tells a story of a bunch of Korean people in Korea in the 1500s who then all die. I think they all die. Well, one of them I'm confused about, and we'll get to that. But then are later reincarnated as white people in LA. And it feels weird, but I'm like, he's Korean. So I don't want to make the claim on how weird it is or isn't.
I don't think it's that weird.
Okay.
To be honest.
There's a long story of like the white savior and the Orientalism of like, oh, look, there's this ancient Japanese art, and now the white guy's here to inherit the thing. There's a long history and trope of that is not okay.
I think it would be a different story if a Korean man wasn't directing.
Yeah,
Let's
totally.
say that.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. There's a bit where I was like, what the fuck? And then I saw his name at the end, and I was like, oh, well, that's different.
Yeah. And I mean, the plot is nuts, and I think I should just jump into the key
Yes,
details
please.
so that we can talk about some of the aspects of it. But also, I would like to say straight up that the elephant in the room was actually the elephant that got killed by a giant snake.
Yes, I'm so sorry.
All right, thank you. So this film came out in 2007.
Yes.
It has 3.5 stars on IMDb. It is a Korean action-adventure fantasy film.
Yeah.
And it was written and directed by Shim Hyung-rae.
Okay.
The budget was $32 million.
Okay.
How much do you think it made?
I mean, I've never heard...
Neither.
But it's a Korean movie, but it's all in English and starring American actors.
I mean, it came out in America.
Yeah.
One of the first Korean films to do so.
Oh, that's cool.
Like widespread release.
Wow. Wide release.
Yeah.
20 million? Might have been able to screen.
More.
More? 40?
More.
What? 60?
More.
Really?
It made $75 million at the box office.
Really?
I've never heard of this film.
No, never in my life.
No.
Not even referenced as like a good or bad movie. Nothing.
And the leads in it aren't very notable, but there's some character actors that pop up in this film where I was
Craig
like,
Robinson?
holy shit. Well, yeah, so we've got Jason Behr as Ethan, who's the main character. We've got Amanda Brooks as Sarah Daniels, the holder of the Yao Yi Zhu. By the way, Amanda Brooks, she was in The Canyons.
Oh!
Which means she's a returning actress.
I thought she was kind of familiar.
Also, Amanda Brooks, like, not to linger on it, but her backstory is crazy.
Really?
She's the daughter of a guy called Joseph Brooks.
Okay.
Joseph Brooks was a director, but he also made a lot of jingles or jangles. Jangles?
Jingles is right.
Jingles,
like
okay.
The little thick commercial.
Yeah, jingles.
It's jingles.
Jingle jangles.
Jangles.
And,
Man, I love that jangle.
But he came up with like 3 very famous jingles, and one of the ones that he came up with was actually the theme song to a film he directed. And everyone was like, the film was terrible, but the song was great.
Okay.
He became notable because in 2008, so the year after this came out, he was convicted for a series of rapes against women on a couching, like in the previous like 5 years, doing couch like casting calls and doing like casting couch rapes essentially.
Yikes.
A series of women came out against him, and then he killed himself in 2011 to avoid getting convicted for it.
Woof.
In between 2008 and 2011, when he was convicted and killed himself, in 2010, Amanda Brooks' brother, the son of this man, her brother, he killed his girlfriend, strangled her to death.
What's
now
going
he's serving
on?
a life sentence in prison, and Amanda Brooks came out in support of her murderous brother.
Whoa.
But she was estranged from her father. It's very odd. I went too deep into the Brooks family history.
God.
It's really, and like it was just really grim. Anyway. Robert Forster.
Yes, Mark
Played
Cherry
Jack.
from Jackie Brown.
Yeah,
I love him.
He's really great.
He's not great in this, but he's great in Jackie Brown.
I
He's great
like
in
that
other
he was
things.
there.
I like that he
seeing
was
him,
there.
You know?
I was a little confused about his character, but we'll get to that.
I'm confused about every character in this. Elizabeth Pena was Agent Linda Perez. I don't know if you remember her, but she was in Rush Hour. She played like a bomb, like she played a detective in that.
She played a bomb.
She played a bomb. She died
Oh, no.
of a failed liver because of alcoholism.
She really died.
She
I think you were
really
doing a
died.
bit because she was a bomb. Oh
No,
my
she really died.
fucking hell.
Craig Robinson played
Yes,
Bruce.
he was great.
Ethan's fellow member in televised journalism. He also died.
Craig Robinson died?
No, he didn't.
Oh my God.
I gotcha.
Jesus. I was like, oh my God.
And then also,
Why are you yelling at me?
and then Retta popped
Yes.
up as a receptionist.
Yes.
Which was crazy. So there was like a couple of good character actors in this, but the 2 leads sucked. Like
Yeah, they
Amanda
really
Brooks
did.
sucked and Jason Best sucked.
I feel okay with saying Amanda Brooks sucked now, knowing that she supported her murderous brother.
Yeah, that's a really odd thing to do. It's like
really
you
weird.
condemned your father, but you couldn't condemn your brother for murdering his girlfriend.
Well, what that guy did was terrible, but he was justified.
Oh.
Weird.
So I've got an overview, but this is a special overview.
Yeah.
I was very confused by this film.
Mm-hmm.
And in writing the overview, I had a lot of questions. So I went to IMDb user reviews
Okay.
to check what other people had been saying about this film, like where the confusions were with the film. And I found a really great overview of the plot.
Okay.
And I wanted to read that out as the overview.
I like
really
that. I
enjoyed
like
this.
that.
I meant to note down the person, like the name of the person who reviewed it, but I couldn't find it once I'd gotten it.
Bevo 136.
Oh my God, I would die. I would actually starstruck. So here's their overview of the film. Here's the film. Dreamy reporter guy reports on big snake tracks. Flashes back to a time he and Dad wandered into what must have been the competition for the store in Gremlins, and dreamy kid reporter finds a box that glows. Old shopkeep reveals several terrible truths. That Boraki, a supposedly evil snake, was cheated out of his chance to be a god. He tells the kid that he's a reincarnated warrior and that somewhere in LA is his reincarnated lover and gives him a junk piece of jewelry. Shopkeep also reveals that despite his obvious whiteness, he's a 500-year-old
yes,
Asian.
thank you. That was really weird and confusing, right?
15 years later, Dreamy Reporter remembers this perfectly and starts acting half crazy trying to find this random girl. CGI hijinks follow, and in the last 10 minutes, my brain melts out of my nose. Why? Continue on, dear reader, if you have the balls. So Sarah, the reincarnated lover, has her own flashbacks. I have the benefit of having an Asian best friend, and in the scene where she starts to freak out and make a bunch of posters with Asian characters on them, he told me whoever made this movie has no idea what they're doing.
Great.
It's a Korean legend, and she's reincarnated from a Korean princess, but everything is in Chinese.
I thought it didn't sound like Korean. Jesus. I was like, well, I don't know. No.
I don't know, man. Later that night, her dragon tat, because she's got one on her shoulder,
Yeah.
starts to hurt. She calls the police because it looks like she's having a heart attack. See, in this mixed up, crazy world, they apparently handle heart attacks differently because the next time we see her, she's locked in her room with a guard outside and a nurse claims she's crazy. I have a new phobia now, and it's that if I'm ever in trouble, the first responders will just assume I'm nuts. Which is true, because I was like, why the fuck is she locked up?
Yeah.
I have another point of contention with my harsh mistress, Dwar, or Dewar. There is a scene where Patrick Dempsey Jr., who is dreamy reporter, that's a joke, is in a cafe with sassy black friend, Craig Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
In the scenes prior, Mr. Near Divinity Baraki has killed an elephant, slithered through a suburb and killed one of Sarah's friends. See, people were afraid to come out after 9/11 happened, but we must all have toughened up after that, deciding coffee and pastries were worth risking our lives for. Business as usual, no way a giant snake will stop me from getting my caffeine on. If I stay inside and fear for my life, the terrorists and serpentine divinities win. After being given a satisfying dragon on helicopter battle, which is true, my cruel lover D-War treats me to a piss and vinegar-filled scene to end it all with. Baraki has a fortress of his own, and it is right under LA. They don't really say, but Dreamy Reporter and Sarah get knocked out in a car crash that would kill lesser men. And when they wake up, yep, Dragon Palace. Some strange dialogue later, a good dragon snake god pops up. A good dragon snake god pops up out of nowhere, and the snakes wrestle / make love / whatever. And I'm not kidding. Good snake out of nowhere. Maybe you think I'm blowing it out of proportion. I'm not. There is no mention of this thing in the movie. Then suddenly, there, a few seconds later, and good dragon becomes dragon god, sets Baraki on fire. Sarah turns into a ghost and goes with the dragon god. Dreamy Reporter is left in the middle of nowhere. Roll credits. Thank God. That's kind of the film.
It's kind of a bleak ending.
It is. Did that make sense to you guys? Because it made no sense to us when we were watching it.
To me, it made about as much sense as the movie itself did.
The movie's nuts. The movie's nuts.
It's such an understatement to say the movie's nuts. It's such an understatement. What is skimmed over in that overview is like, when we get the flashback, it's like, oh yes, there's the Yamuji.
Yeah, Yamuji.
Yeah, they just keep calling them Yamuji, and they're giant snakes. There's the good snake seems to be in the water. Baraki is a giant cobra that, by the way, no one in LA is able to fucking see. There's a point where Baraki is on top of a well-lit hospital. I don't give a shit how late at night it is. Somebody saw that.
Somebody, for sure.
Many people saw that.
Yeah.
He's a giant snake. He's just like roaming through the fucking neighborhood. He's not being subtle.
No.
People are like, there's a giant snake there.
And everyone's like, you're crazy, man.
But there would have to be like tens, if not hundreds of reports of a giant.
They're in LA.
How does it get anywhere? Where does it go during the day?
I don't know.
What the fuck is going on?
I don't know, man. I can't answer these questions.
Anyway, so back in 500 years of the past in Korea, there's this giant fucking snake, and he comes with an army of a Power Ranger villain. And
turtles. Massive turtles.
With no back legs, but artillery.
Yeah.
It's
like a turret, like a tank top.
They're like Star Wars Gungan creatures, you know?
Bizarro.
It feels like a Star Wars battle, and these would be Glorbos.
And they come back for the end battle, thank God.
They do.
I missed them.
But it's crazy, because again, no one's talking about it. I just want to see one shot of like a news reporter. The main guy's a news reporter. I should see more about the news going, reports of giant creatures roaming LA have been skyrocketing. Like something to go like, did somebody spot any of the insane bullshit that's going on in LA? It
doesn't matter that it's nighttime. Everyone would see a snake slithering around.
Some of it's in the daytime.
Yeah. But you know, like the bit where like he's like lingering outside of the hospital while the zookeeper's talking, that's at nighttime.
Yeah.
He's slithering around the outside of a prominent building, as you say. There's like 5,000 people at one time that can work at a hospital.
It's crazy. It drove me fucking insane during the thing. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah. It's intense.
I'm trying to calm myself down because it was just so baffling while watching it. I'm like, why can nobody see Baraki?
I don't know, man. And then like the actual battle does commence in LA where everyone's keenly aware of him. Yeah. And he's slithering up a tower to get to them, and that's where the helicopter fight ensues.
But he's able to wrap himself around a skyscraper. Yeah. He's that big.
Yeah.
Which is why it's baffling that no one has seen this kaiju before.
Fully, because if he was slithering around on the ground, he'd be covering like 3 yards.
Yeah.
Not that I know how big a yard is. Acres? 3 acres?
Well, if he's on a street, he fills the entire street.
Yeah.
And as we see, tears it all up.
Yeah.
There would have to be tracks left everywhere.
Yeah, everything
of
he
his
touches
movement.
apparently is demolished
So
underneath him.
How is it hard to find him?
So the final fucking snake fight was, I wanted to love it, but it was so tiresome.
It really was tiresome.
I was like, I can't see another CGI shot of this fucking snake wrapping itself around, and I just don't care.
Especially because you kind of watch it thinking that there's going to be something like she finds a way to not have to sacrifice herself, or afterwards maybe the dragon rewards her by bringing her back to life or something. No, it plays out kind of exactly as it is.
She really does turn into a ghostly apparition, and she's like, I'll never forget you. I love you. I have to go now.
I
And then
know.
he just takes her as a big ball of shining light in his mouth, the snake, and then just slithers away into the sky.
I did kind of like the design of the dragon.
I did too.
I didn't like the
Some of
snakes, but the
shots,
dragon.
They were cute. Like the dragon was cute, and the snake's face was cute, I thought. When it was just sitting there, I was like, cool.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just sitting there, yeah.
I like the idea of having a friendly snake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get you.
Sometimes I see people and they're like at home cooking and their snake is just wrapped around their head. Like
That's kind of cute.
Yeah,
like a hat.
so sweet. Like a little hat.
Like a snake hat.
It'd be so cute.
That is fun.
My little buddy is so obsessed with me. He's just wrapped around me.
Yeah.
It's like how I've always wanted a cat that drapes itself over my shoulders and I can wear
Yeah.
it like a scarf.
Yeah, it's we both looked at Mavis in
I
that
know.
moment.
Well, she's looking very sweet. She's napping now.
She's sleepy.
She's had a lot on, to be
had a
fair.
lot on.
She had to run down the hallway a few times.
Uh-huh.
She had to go nibble on some biscuit.
Yeah.
She had to go take a wee.
Uh-huh.
She looked out the door for a bit, I saw.
she's-
And she also had to get a couple of pats on the carpet. So
Oh,
she's had a
yeah.
pretty hectic schedule this morning.
Pretty hecker's day.
And now she just needs a bit of a lie down before the next section of her day, which is
Yeah.
kind of the same.
Stop coming for her.
What?
You know, no, not you. I'm saying the people out there.
Oh.
Stop coming for her. She's had a
Exactly.
big day.
Yeah, she's not lazy.
Don't worry. We're explaining to them
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
that Mavis is fine.
Just leave her alone.
And sure, sometimes she smells. And sometimes she bites.
And sometimes she poos out in the open
Yeah.
in front of people.
And sometimes she uses inappropriate words to describe friends of mine.
Like what?
Oh.
Slurs.
I wouldn't say slurs. She's
Okay.
not that kind of cat.
Okay.
I would say if they were used enough times, we might start to consider them as slurs.
Like what? What are we talking about?
Like butthead?
Oh,
Like butthead?
that's pretty severe. That's
It's
drastic.
butthead. But she only uses it for my queer friends, which to be fair is like all
like
of them.
male queer friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucked. That's fucked.
Yeah. So but it's hard to tell because maybe she just likes the word butthead.
Maybe.
That's what I mean.
Maybe
but I'm
she's
just saying,
queer. Have you asked?
irregardless, well, she doesn't speak English
Yeah.
apart from butthead.
Have you tried to telepathically communicate with her?
Huh? I've tried.
Yeah.
I try all the time.
I'm doing it right now.
I put my head against her head and I go, Mavis, can you tell that I love you? I do. I really do.
I do that as well to my cats. I'll give her especially B, I'll grab her by the head and I'll kiss her a lot. And then I'll put my head against her head and I'm like, can you hear that I love you?
Yeah.
So good.
Every time I walk into a room and she's there when I'm home alone, I start pointing at her and I go, yes, Mavis, yes.
Aww.
Because I'm just so excited that she's there.
Cats have to do so little to be so loved.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah, I know. I wish I was like that. Yeah, it's crazy that I didn't understand the Power Ranger villain. I didn't get his deal. There's a couple of times where he confronts the main characters
Don't question it.
and then he kind of wins in a fight, but then they wake up and it's kind of implied both that did happen and that it's a dream. And I don't really get it.
I got to a point with this film where I was eventually I was at a point where I was like, I can't have any more questions about this. I can't waste more time thinking, why is that a thing? I just have to move on with my life. I've gotten to that point a lot of times in this podcast, but this film in particular, I was like, yeah, fuck it, sure. There are turtles with like tank turrets on the top of them. That's fine.
These are like old school Chinese fireworks artillery on the back. Also, Baraki like roars repeatedly.
Yeah, the roaring
he's
got to me.
loud. How are they not hearing him?
She felt very sensorily like overwhelmed by this film because of all the noise.
I
the
did turn it
roaring,
down a couple
yeah,
times.
the roaring I had to like completely like turn off the noise at a certain point because I was like, it's too much.
There's the bit where they get taken into the warehouse by the FBI and it's revealed that the FBI know about the Yuiju.
Yui Boom. Yeah, Yamuji?
No. Yamuji is the creature. I mean her.
Oh, yes, I know what you're saying.
Because the way that it was spelt in the subtitles and the way that it was pronounced was quite different.
Yeah, well, it was spelt here Yao Yi Ju. So like YEO -YI-JU. So Yao Yi Ju.
Yeah, but I feel like they just called it like the Yuiji or Yuiju or something.
Whereas it's definitely Yao for YEO.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, they turns out they know about that, and they know about the whole cycle, and their goal is actually to kill her because then the problem will be kicked down the road for 500 years, which is crazy because if they don't care about her, why not get her to just sacrifice herself?
Yeah.
They should be like, you should kill yourself.
Yeah.
Can you please kill yourself? The FBI take her to a room and go, kill yourself. Instead, he's like, I'm going to kill you now so that you don't kill yourself.
Yeah. But then the dreamy reporter, throws himself in front of her.
Yeah, but he's fine.
I thought he got shot. I thought he fully died.
I know.
And then he was just like, he just got up and he was fine.
He's not even like hit in the shoulder.
No, he wasn't hit anywhere.
No. So where'd the bullet go? Why did he do that then if it was fine?
I don't know.
But then the other FBI agent kills the guy and also reveals that he independently also already knew about the Yuiju, but supports her killing herself.
I will never watch this film again. I've said it before. I'm saying it again. There's no way. As fun as it was in a sense, I hated it. I hated this film.
I feel like you're turning so sharply against this movie
I am.
the longer we talk about it.
The more I'm thinking about it, I'm like, fuck this movie.
I think it's the reality of like... It is the nature of the podcast that people forget. It's not just that we have to watch these movies. We are sitting here trying to intellectually understand this movie that actually defies all comprehension.
You are. I'm telling you not to. I'm telling you to steer away from that. You're just wasting your time.
Wasting my time. That's what we're here. That's what we're not paid by the good people to do.
Committed a whole day of our lives to waste our time together today.
I took it.
Remember that bit that Craig Robertson was kind of fun?
He's fun. Well, he's Craig Robertson.
He's always a breath of fresh air every time he's in anything.
Yeah, they call him toothpaste.
There's this bit where they're driving, and then they're stopped by the Power Ranger guy.
Yeah.
And they have this fight in the middle of the street, and Craig Robertson gets hit, and he just goes, yeah, and then just disappears out off screen. But then this car rocks up, and they all just jump in it. You don't even see. It's later revealed, but there's this car that's being driven by some random woman, and for some reason they all just know that they're allowed to get into that car, so they do. And they get in the car, and then it's revealed that the woman is Jack, the guy from the shop who's actually a 500-year-old Asian man.
Yeah.
It's revealed that he's given them a lift, but I'm like, how did they know to get into that random vehicle?
This is the thing, they're reincarnated. He's not reincarnated, which we know because he shows the scar.
Yeah.
So he is meant to be a 500-year-old Korean man, and I'm like, I know that Mark Foster isn't Korean.
You're just gonna have to take it up with the Korean director.
Okay. This is what I mean. I'm like, I can't go as hard because I'm like, oh, you made the choice, man.
Exactly. It wasn't some, misinformed white man. It was some delusional Korean man.
Yeah.
A very different bag of worms.
Yeah.
Can of worms.
Still a can of worms, but
you
a different
can of worms. You ever got a bag of worms? Cat's out of the can.
I got this bag of worms. God, it's so wet. What the hell? I would hate a bag of worms.
I hate worms. I really hate worms. Where are your limbs? Where are they?
Is it what you're like with snakes too?
Yeah.
What happened to your limbs, lizard?
Bro.
Grow them back.
It is unnatural, the idea of just a log of something,
Yeah.
Really don't like it.
No, but at our core, we are a tube. Food go in, poo come out.
Yeah, but our tube is quite short and our limbs take up a lot of space.
Our tube is really long. The intestines.
Our tube, but I mean, from our mouth to our torso is like half of our body height.
Sure. But
that's the tube.
The legs and arms evolve to better, more efficiently carry around the tube and to put things in it, right? A snake and a worm is just pure. A worm, especially
tube.
Pure tube. It's a distillation tubage of creature to its basest element, tube. There is no accoutrement, no personal effects.
However, the appendages that we have become vital parts of us, not just to carry the tube, but also to ensure the safety and wellness of the surroundings of the tube. Yeah.
No, I get that. But I mean, so has a snake. A snake is a worm with fangs. I think officially, yeah.
No, tell us more, Dr. St. Clair.
A snake is just a worm with fangs. You see,
I don't think she works at the zoo, guys.
when
I don't know who she is, but I don't think she's the person that we.
when a worm learns to create venom, it grows a snout, right, and grows even larger in size simply by the virtue of the fact that with the venom, it is able to more easily kill and thus eat prey.
We gotta get security in here. Yeah, I just came from the zoo. I'm the real person. Who's she? Oh my god.
You know those games where you're a small creature and you can only eat creatures that are smaller than you, otherwise you die if you run into a creature bigger than you. But as you eat the smaller creatures, you yourself become bigger, allowing you to eat bigger and bigger creatures. There's many games of this genre. That is the relationship of worm to snake. Worm get big enough, poof, turn into snake.
Big snake.
Snake get big enough, dragon.
Worm, chrysalis, snake. I'm gonna come out of my cocoon a snake.
I'm just saying, a snake you could argue is the most efficient creature. Pure tube.
Do worms have eyes?
No, I don't think so.
They're just like all feeling. They're just like wriggling around and the feeling of
What would it need
dirt?
eyes for? It's dark in the dirt.
What about when they surface?
I don't think they really. It's like how some moles are blind and don't have eyes.
And some fish are blind.
It's
as well.
dark in the dirt.
That's even worse.
They just crawl
hate
through
that
the
they don't
dirt. They
have
propel
eyes.
themselves. Didn't you see June? They don't have eyes.
That's true.
Didn't you see June?
They've just got plates.
See, June is the perfect. I can't believe I forgot about June. Perfect
Now
example.
that we're on to the topic of worms,
Perfect example.
which I've
of what
been
I
spending
mean.
2.5 hours trying to slowly navigate back to.
The most efficient form of creature is a worm, right? It create the magic.
She's beginning to scare the children. We have to remove her.
That's what Brian Herbert was on about.
Okay, kids. Okay, lunchtime.
Man should worship the Shai Hulud.
Get the fuck out of here, all right?
Inhale
We've called the police.
worm's excrement.
We've called the police.
Spice.
all right. Let's just lock her in the room.
You gotta let me out. I need more of the spice. Shai Hulud. Snake.
What the fuck were we talking about before this? Do you want to hear some trivia? Fuck this movie.
Yeah.
IMDb trivia.
I think that might have gone more off the rails than any episode thus far.
Hey, we haven't got that much to talk about.
We're too many recordings deep. This movie was too confusing. I had too much V.
We're so close to the end, baby. All right. This is the first Korean production in nearly 3 decades to receive wide theatrical release in the United States.
Wow.
Not wild, just
No.
wide. Shortly after this movie was released, due to fan complaints about the movie, theaters received an email from the film's production companies authorizing refunds to be given to audience members at any time throughout and immediately after the film ended.
That's brutal. That's brutal.
And following on from that, would you like to hear some reviews that I found?
Oh, that's the only piece of trivia?
There were 2 pieces. Thank you very much, Michelle.
Oh,
But that's
sorry.
all I had.
What was the first one?
The first Korean
Oh,
production.
they felt like related. But
Okay.
my brain mushed them. Yeah, you're right.
Do you want to hear some reviews?
Yes, please.
Reviews.
So this film got terrible critical reviews. You won't be shocked to hear. But the IMDb reviews were fascinating to read, and I've got a couple for you. This, following on from the refunds I just talked about, this is a review left in 2007 by Randy TZ. It's a 1 out of 10 review.
Oh.
And it's called, "Oh My God, Why No Rating Lower Than a 1?" This movie is likely the worst movie I've ever seen in my life, surpassing the previous most god-awful movie, Spawn of Slithis, which I saw when I was about 10. I've never heard of that.
Okay.
Kind of want to watch it. Bad acting, stilted and ridiculous dialogue, incomprehensible plot, mishmashed cutscenes, even the music was annoying. Did I leave anything out? Well, the special effects weren't bad, but CGI does not a decent movie make. I can't believe I actually spent money to see this movie. If anyone has the contact info for Hyung Rae Shim, the director, please forward it to my username at Gmail, and I'll contact him to personally demand a refund. This guy set up an email to get a refund back. Here's a 10 out of 10 review left by Nuntinji in 2007 called "I Finally Saw This Movie." Ha ha! I gave it 10. I saw it in Man Chinese Theatre Hollywood. Thanks. It took me a while, and that's THX
Right.
in capitals.
Right.
It took me a while to get what this movie was all about, but I finally got what it was all about at the end of the movie.
Really?
I have experience seeing the director's previous movie before, and I didn't like it then. But with this movie, I finally began to appreciate the director's work.
Okay.
I was so impressed and brackets really cried end brackets after this movie. That's not okay. The movie is original and is a work of art. And is an work of art. But I admit it would be hard for normal viewers to appreciate this movie. Let me give you a hint.
God.
Children would like it very much because it's all about imagination.
Is it?
Children don't care about philosophical / sophisticated stuff. That's only for adults. And for an adult, if you are smart enough, you would really enjoy this movie. The movie is for everyone, but only for adults.
What?
10 out of 10.
What the fuck point were they making?
And here's the last review, left by Brian K. Chambers in 2008, 10 out of 10, called Good Job. Let me just catch my breath for this.
You got it. Oh, it's a big one?
In all sincerity, the director did an excellent job with this film. My children loved it, and so did I. God bless and take care. In all sincerity, the director did an excellent job with this film. My children loved it, and so did I. God bless and take care. In all sincerity, the director did an excellent job with this film. My children loved it, and so did I. God bless and take care. In all sincerity, the director did an excellent job with this film. My children loved it, and so did I. God bless, take care. In all sincerity, the director did an excellent job with this film. My children loved it, and so did I. God bless and take care. And in all sincerity, the director did an excellent job with this film. My children loved it, and so did I. God bless and take care. In all sincerity, the director did an excellent job with this film. My children loved it, and so did I. God bless and take care. In all sincerity, the director did an excellent job with this film. My children loved it, and so did I. God bless and take care. In all sincerity, the director did an excellent job with this film. My children loved it, and so did I. God bless and take care. BC.
Before Christ?
I don't know. I don't know. I just answered that.
Oh, that's psychopathic. It was 9 times, wasn't it?
Brian K. Chambers clearly had a stroke.
Oh, BC, Brian Chambers.
Oh, of course.
He signed it.
Yep. I would love to see his other reviews, actually. Hang on. Do they all just repeat themselves like that? I have to know. Brian K. Chambers. Yeah, one review. It's just Dragon Ball.
Oh my God.
Well, that was Brian's unhinged review. What's your review, Michelle?
Move over, Bong Joon-ho. Get out of here, Park Chan-wook.
There's a new token foreign film director in town.
Both of them are just incredible directors in their own countries as well.
They are. I was just making a joke.
Whoa, Abby. Whoa.
Okay.
I'm falling apart here.
Warm us down.
Okay. All right. How would I possibly begin to review this movie? Like, what? Why? It's baffling. It's like someone. Okay, so here we go. The Wachowskis are known for making movies that feel like they're almost increasingly moving to a different style of cinema, right? Like, we've been stuck since Spielberg with Jaws in one style of cinema. Like, there's a huge amount of variance since then and stuff. But like a movie like Speed Racer or whatever is operating on a slightly different set of visual language than a lot of other movies. I would argue an interesting thing about Gravity when seen in the theaters was the way that it was this, I don't know, really interesting pure cinematic experience, right? We're like starting to get these movies that are really operating in this incredibly visual way, incredibly cinematic way that feels like a break of norms from the past. This movie feels like it's trying to do that, but in the opposite way possible. It's like someone made The Matrix Reloaded without any visual sense whatsoever. Just the baffling conversations with the architect and all of that. And I say this as someone who loves The Matrix Reloaded. But it is baffling to its core, as well as incredibly dully made and visually produced and directed. I think it will stick in my mind in a lot of ways because I think it's a distillation of what the list has become. in that it is unknowable. It is a movie that has broken my brain. Unfathomable.
Ununderstandable. Like, I couldn't wrap my head around this film.
It's Lovecraftian in the sense that the more I try and understand it, the less I feel like I understand about the nature of God and my own existence.
That's right.
And so in that way, does it meet that threshold of 2? No. But is it a movie? Maybe.
I don't think it looks or feels like a movie.
No,
it's a movie.
but I don't think it's a 0. But I don't know what it gets points for. I'm going to just give it, because I have to give it a number because of the ridiculousness of the format we've chosen. And, you know, we've said before, we kind of are making fun of the idea of having to just reduce art to a number. I'm going to give it a 3.
Whoa.
With the caveat that it actually doesn't meet the threshold required for a 2.
Whoa, yeah, that's higher than I thought.
You know what? Maybe it's lower. Maybe it's 1. I don't know. I can't know this movie.
I watched it, but did I?
Did I? I don't really think I did. You know what? I'll just 2.
Okay. I think I'm for similar reasons as yourself. I think I'm going to be giving it a 1.4.
That's fair.
That feels right.
It does.
It doesn't meet the 2 threshold for a film to feel like a film, in my opinion.
But it kind of does, but not at all.
But no, it doesn't matter that they've even got a couple of good character actors in it. It somehow still feels like a student film.
Yeah, it does.
But then there are bits of it that are impressive. I don't know. I don't care to think about it any further. 1.4.
Down that road lies madness.
Yes.
Also, I got to say in this moment as well, my stomach did not enjoy how much V I drank.
No. Are you okay?
I'm okay. It's a bubbling and a gurgling.
You're going to be shitting for the rest of the day.
Oh, baby. Yeah, but we will have recorded entertainment for our sweet, sweet listeners. Yeah, baby.
Well, I mean, this will come as a surprise to most people listening, but we actually do have social media. If you guys did enjoy it today, we're on TikTok and Twitter. Sorry, we're on Twitter and X at Rate Descend Pod. We're on Twitter at Rating Descending, or you can eat. No, we're on TikTok at Rating Descending.
Eat.
I'm all over the place. Let me start again.
Baby, you got this.
We're on Twitter and X at Rate Descend Pod. We're on TikTok at Rating Descending, or you can email us at ratingdescending@gmail.com.
You can also find me on my own social media. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Michelle.St. and Letterboxd at M.St.
And we're also on YouTube now under Rating Descending.
Or you know what? You can also leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts. And you know why? Because it really makes a difference.
Really makes a difference.
Well, howdy, it really makes a difference, sir.
Well, Michelle, we made it through that film.
We did it.
What are we watching next week? God damn it.
Crossroads.
Okay.
I don't know anything. It's a pure blind one.
Woohoo.
I can look it up now, but I kind of like,
Fuck
it's
it.
Tantalizing. It's a blindy.
It's an enigma.
As we call them, a blindy.
Blindy. Don't think you can call them that anymore.
It's a, wait, look at that blindy.
Oh, blimey, it's a blindy.
It's a bloody blindy around here. What's he doing? What's he doing? You know?
Yeah.
As they say.
See ya.
I think I'm gonna die.